Josh Dolan. I'm 25 years old and I'm based out of Richmond, Virginia. I'm a trophy fisherman and what some would classify as an extreme kayak angler. I'm coming at you from my home waters here in Richmond, Virginia, the beautiful James River, and I'm here to tell you a fish story. To tell this story properly, we have to start back in 2014. It was my first trip to Texas, and it was a huge learning experience for me. Got down there, spent pretty much a week on the water, and it was a lot of challenges that were approached and met and surpassed in that week of fishing and camping on the Trinity River. And ultimately I was successful and I accomplished the goal I set out to do, which was catch a big Texas alligator gar. Though it was a fun trip and an amazing experience, I knew if I went back armed with the knowledge I had gained on my first trip, we'd be even more successful in catching even bigger fish. So we tried to get back down in 2015, and there was just crazy flooding. It rained all through April. And the thing about Texas is the rivers down there, there aren't a ton of them in East Texas. When you get a lot of rain, it really floods everything out. All the tributaries flow into these big rivers and it just takes forever for the water to drop. So 2015, right when we wanted to go down there to try it again, we just couldn't do it. 2016 rolled around, we were gearing up to go and the same thing happened again. Crazy amounts of rain and we really didn't know if we were gonna make the trip. But with about 2 weeks to go, I contacted my buddy and now a good friend, Brian Thornton, and we kind of discussed whether or not we'd be able to do it. And once he kind of gave us the go-ahead and said, yeah, we can make this thing happen, me and my girlfriend Harley packed up and we hit the road. We left from Richmond. It's a 21-hour drive from Richmond to where we were staying in College Station, Texas. We spent a week on the water fishing in and around College Station on the Brazos. And it was just crazy. It was either too much water or not enough, and it really made for difficult fishing. The fish just really weren't there like I thought they were going to be. Every day, day in and day out, we're having to lower the boats down to the water and pull them back up by hand. It was just a lot of work for not a lot of payout. So throughout the course of the week, we kind of struggled with that. And on the last day, I contacted Brian again. I was like, I said, Brian, man, is there anything we can do to make this happen? He's like, yeah, tomorrow we'll hit the Trinity. So we teamed up with Brian and he got us out on the water and put us in some good spots. And we fished all day, caught one little one, maybe about 3 foot, not a huge one, just a baby in terms of alligator gar standards. But we ended up fishing all day and only caught that one and got a bunch of runs, but just nothing like we really needed. It looked like our odds were kind of fading in us actually capturing a big alligator gar on the second trip. So at the last spot, in the last hour of the last day, we got this crazy run. friggin' film. What was cool is we were able to let her go and set her back into the river that she came from, and that's really awesome with a fish that's probably as old as my grandparents. You know, alligator gar are really slow growing fish, so it's my personal belief that we should try to protect these fish as much as we can, especially the big ones, and release them any chance we get, because a resource that takes that long to get to mature size is something that could be decimated really easy. So we ended up landing that fish, and it was just a major relief on top of just crazy excitement. Couldn't have asked for a better ending to the first leg of the trip. We got back and bid Brian farewell and thanked him so much. It really couldn't have done it without him, to be honest with you. Actually, I know we couldn't have done it without him. When I originally planned on going on this road trip, I only intended on it being, you know, just Texas. But as we were getting ready to leave, I noticed this guy Marty Mood on my Facebook was catching all these huge tarpon. So I sent him a message. I was like, hey Marty, what are the chances that if I extend this trip another week, we could get on some tarpon? He's like, yeah man, we can do that, come on down. So after we left Brian, we went back to the hotel and loaded everything up, and we took off the next morning and drove all day. I got there in just enough time to meet Marty at the boat ramp. And we got down there, loaded up, tied everything on, and got out chasing these tarpon. And it was insane fishing. As crazy and difficult as the alligator gar was, the tarpon was just that much more insane. Within a 24-hour period, I had caught a 6'8", 135-pound alligator gar and hooked a tarpon that was probably 6 foot and maybe 80 pounds, 100 pounds, who knows. It was just an insane 24-hour period. We ended up fishing the rest of the week. I ended up hooking up with 6 tarpon and lost every single one of them. Had 4 throw the hook, 1 break me off, and 1 just straight up disappear. Caught some redfish in there, that was fun. It was actually my first ever red drum, so that was pretty cool getting to catch those guys. So at one point in the Florida trip, I'd bought a skitter walk to cast these redfish. I'd had it sitting on the side of my Jackson Big Tuna, just kind of bungee down so it wouldn't go anywhere. Hadn't even thrown this bait yet. And I'm paddling along, and I'm kind of fighting against the current a little bit, so I'm giving a little extra. Well, sure enough, I dig and just jam this hook down in my thumb, just all the way to the bend in the hook. There's nothing I could do about it. I had to cut the bait off, paddle back to land with the hook in my thumb, and then we ended up having to do a little impromptu surgery in the parking lot to get it out. All right, so we're out here trying to do a little tarpon fishing down in Florida on our last night. It's like 3 something in the morning, and I went ahead and put a hook into my thumb. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to yank it out of here on camera. Okay.
You have to push here.
Yeah. Got it?
Yeah.
No, don't do 2 hands.
Don't rip your thumb off.
You gotta have, look, you gotta have a little bit of slack.
Okay.
To pluck it.
Okay.
So you got that tight? Start.
Yeah.
Okay. Start up here and just yank it.
You push down.
Ow. Hurts, but it came out. Really prefer not to do that again. Buried that joker way up in there. It stings like hell, but at least it's not in my thumb anymore, so that didn't go absolutely horribly wrong, but it's probably not the way it's supposed to go. Kind of ended the Florida trip on that note. Lost a bunch of fish and didn't really get any more shots at them. Our time was up, had to make the drive back home. All in all, it was an awesome trip, and it's a road trip I don't think very many people have ever conceived. You go from freshwater alligator gar deep in the heart of East Texas to the Silver King in the saltwater, and just a highly prestigious fish species. There's just an awesome array of fishing all across the spectrum, and you really couldn't ask for a better trip. Maybe if I would have caught a tarpon, that would have made it a little bit better, I think. Alright guys, that's my fish story. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, Peel and Drag Fishing TV, for more videos like this, and share this with your friends if you think they'd like it as well. You can follow me on Instagram at JoshDolan_fishing for all the photos of these crazy trips that we take. And be sure to support the guys who help make trips like this possible for me. Jackson Kayaks, Yak Attack Kayak Rigging Products, and Bending Branches Paddles. I couldn't do it without their help. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care and go catch some fish.